What's up, everybody? Welcome to Kinda Funny Games Daily for Thursday for June 9th, 2022. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside in the flesh, Forbes 30 Under 30, a.k.a. the second best baby blues, a.k.a. the engaged one, at Tim Geddes.
You're so loud, Greg. I haven't heard it in real life in so long.
I want you to know that, like, every so often, like, I'll do this where I'll have a headphone off and I'll do a show and I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I see what people are talking about.
Yeah.
And I think that pandemic has only made me louder because now I'm fighting through the hearing loss and the headphones.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what's going on. I shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
How are you, Tim? How's it feel to have me in your house?
This is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, this, honestly, this feels like the old days. And especially it being, E3, Summer Game Fest, whatever. This feels like me and you back in the old apartment. Like, how
fucking crazy is it to see the side of your face, the side of my face right now? This is like when Paris Lily was on the Xbox thing at E3, and I was like, holy shit, he's in 3D.
Yeah,
Here you are,
exactly.
look at the side of your face. Wow.
I've never seen your whole body. I didn't know he had a torso.
Yeah, of course.
I'm about to meet that torso.
And I want you to know, I respect the power move. You invite me here to do the show, and then you give me the small chair. So I look like I'm your son.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, Dad, can we get nuggets on the way home?
I'm down with you now.
Get up there. Enjoy
Here
yourself.
we are.
Yeah, I thought about Belmonting the chair, but I talked myself
this
out
is
of
a
it.
little low.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't know, it is Summer Game Fest. Yeah, this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Yeah. You've probably seen or listened to the show a million times. It's going to be a bit different, of course. We're actually acting as the pre-show to us watching along for Summer Game Fest. Yes, we'll get you through all the nerdy news you need to know about. But, of course, today's Kinda Funny Games Daily, available on twitch.tv/KindaFunnyGames live. Later, youtube.com/KindaFunnyGames. YouTube.com. Rooster Teeth. Podcast services around the globe. And, of course, support us on patreon.com/KindaFunnyGames. There's a lot to shove in, Tim, in a little bit. But we will start, as we always do, with the Kinda Funny best friends. Jordan Lee Rowan writes into patreon.com/KindaFunnyGames and says, Summer Games Fest, baby. Any final predictions? Something wild, something out of left field. If any of these wild predictions come true, I pledge to be a Patreon producer for 1 month. Parentheses, 1 month ain't much, but I've got an infant, so it's all I got. Tim, I'm assuming you're, as usual, the hype master you are. You probably couldn't sleep last night. You've been going over and over this in your head. What do you think hasn't leaked that you think will happen today?
Something tells me Last of Us Part 1 is going to be announced. Yeah. But besides that, let's see, a prediction that'll get us to Patreon.
It's got to be wild, something out of left field.
I don't know. I mean,
Barrett Courtney's calling a Donkey Kong. That's what he's saying.
Oh, let's see. I don't know if there's anything wild. I feel like we've kind of talked through all the potential options. I mean, I guess the wildest thing would be God of War being there.
Okay.
And if it's there, I think we're getting a release date.
Okay.
So
fair enough.
I'll go with that.
I'm trying to think of something that we haven't talked about before.
It's just hard. We talk a lot.
I know. So that's the thing. There's so many rumors, and we've gone. You know what one I was thinking about that I should have done, and it won't happen. But what if it happened? And I always forget who it was. Nintendo in the Summer Game Fest logos?
No, they're not.
I'll say it anyway. Advance Wars. Reboot, recamp, whatever, re-warfare, whatever it's called, drops today, day and date. Just put it out.
No,
because they need physical.
They need a little bit more marketing push.
But again, that would be big. That's out of left
field.
Well,
no, and also they're dropping Strikers today. They wouldn't do that.
Oh shit, good call. Fuck.
Yeah.
Well, it's already. I said
Strikers today.
I said
tomorrow. Exciting times, anyway. I'm ready to strike.
Tomorrow Strikers. Speaking of exciting times, Greg Way, The Last of Us remake has officially been leaked by PlayStation. Jesus Christ. Xbox has a million of their own announcements, and Ghostbusters is coming to PlayStation VR too. We'll talk about all of this and more, because this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday on a variety of platforms, we run you through the nerdy video game news you need to know about. If you like that, be part of the show on patreon.com/KindaFunnyGames. Over there, of course, you can get each and every episode ad-free. You can get the exclusive post shows. You can watch the shows as we record them live. You could be doing all that stuff, get your name read, all the stuff. However, if you have no bucks to toss our way on patreon.com/KindaFunnyGames, no big deal. You can watch us record the show live on twitch.tv/KindaFunnyGames, just like Style Gem is.
Funky Booze.
Yeah. Oh, well, hold on a second. One second there. Now, see, this is a weird one, because people are screaming for us to kiss, right? And then my wife is there saying kiss. You can watch live like everybody else, like my wife's doing. If you're watching live, Amazon Prime, and you have it, give us your free sub. Maybe you give us sub today. We're going to be doing a lot of work today. We've been doing a lot of work all week. You understand that. Of course, if you're watching live, you have a special job. Go to kindafunny.com/you're wrong. Tell us what we screw up as we screw it up, so we can set the record straight. For everybody watching later on youtube.com/KindaFunnyGames, roosterteeth.com, and listening on podcast services around the globe. Of course, you can also support us by using that Epic creator code, KindaFunny, when you buy anything on the Epic Game Store, play Fortnite, etc., etc. Housekeeping for you. Today is Summer Game Fest. If you are listening to this later, you can go to youtube.com/KindaFunnyGames. Watch us live react. We don't know what's going to happen except for Last of Us. Live react to SGF. And then, of course, we will be doing a Gamescast post show as a podcast and a YouTube video. youtube.com/KindaFunnyGames, or, podcast services around the globe. Our Quarry review is up. That comes out tomorrow. The review is up now. You can go check it out on youtube.com/KindaFunnyGames as a Gamescast, or tomorrow when you play the Quarry, you can watch our Spoilercast. It's going up at 6 a.m. Remember, that's an evergreen piece of content. Watch it whenever you beat the game so you can enjoy us talk about the endings.
And jumping in real quick on the non-Kind of Funny game side of things are also equally popping up. I think this might be the biggest summer we've ever had where it's not just the video game side going crazy. It's also the entertainment side. We got reviews for Miss Marvel, for The Boys, for Obi-Wan Kenobi, for Stranger Things.
What a show.
Oh, what a show. So yeah, you can go check all those out on the screencast. Jurassic World is dropping tomorrow for us. So yeah, check out all the stuff out on youtube.com/KindaFunny and /KindaFunnyGames.
Of course, if that wasn't enough for you, ladies and gentlemen, thank you to our Patreon producers, Gordon McGuire and Fargo Brady. Today, we're brought to you by MeUndies and Chime, but we'll talk about that later. For now, let's begin the show with what is and forever will be the Roper Report. Time for some news. 6 items on the Roper Report.
Bakers does it.
If we ever do this again, and God hope we're in a fucking studio soon and we won't ever have to do it again, but if we ever did it again, we should have had Barrett back there on like a little DJ table.
That would have been good. That would have been good.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's start with the biggest news of the day. Possibly the saddest news of the day. The Last of Us remaster that you've been hearing so much about, rumored forever, has leaked. It is officially titled The Last of Us Part 1. And you might say, wow, I can't believe it.
Can't believe it.
It leaked. Who was it? Was it VGC? Was it Jason Schreier?
Was it fucking Grub?
No, it was just fucking PlayStation themselves. PlayStation Direct made an error, apparently, and posted all about it, assuming that then it'll be posted today, including a trailer. Barrett, do you have the trailer?
I have the trailer. Y'all want to watch it?
Let's watch the trailer together, everybody. This, of course, is for The Last of Us Part 1. We'll talk about it after we get through it.
So why'd you leave Boston?
I've been on quite the adventure, little brother.
I reckon it's got something to do with that girl.
It's got everything to do with that little girl.
It's funny watching it without the context of the other one. You know?
I've never been this close.
Like, that's how the game looked, right?
Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah.
So is that everything you hoped for?
Can't be any worse out there. Can it?
Once upon a time, I had somebody that I cared about. And in this world, that's good for one thing. Get you killed.
I can take care of myself.
How many close calls have we had? I get into trouble down there. You make every shot count.
I got this.
Hope you know how to use that thing.
I've had some practice.
Also in development for PC.
That's good. It's good news there. September 2nd, Greg.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're watching, ladies and gentlemen, sorry, if you're listening, I should say, September 2nd, 2022, also in development for PC, rebuilt from the ground up for PlayStation 5. Apparently, too, your wrongs popping off that I said remake. I said remaster. Yeah, but this is a remake. Of course, I'm talking fast. I'm in Tim's house. I don't know what the fuck's happening. But yeah, we already had a Last of Us remaster, and now you're getting a remake, so enjoy yourself. But anyways, before PlayStation Direct tore everything down after putting it up, shout out to Reset Era, who was the one who found this, obviously, as soon as it popped and put everything up there. This is what they had written. Get The Last of Us Part 1 Firefly Edition, also available to buy as exclusively directly from PlayStation. Experience the emotional storytelling and unforgettable characters of Joel and Ellie in The Last of Us, winner of over 200 Game of the Year awards and now rebuilt for PlayStation 5. Enjoy a total overhaul of the original experience, faithfully reproduced but incorporating modernized gameplay, improved controls, and expanded accessibility options. Plus, feel immersed with improved effects and enhanced exploration and combat. The Last of Us Part 1, Firefly Edition, which is like their special edition. Barrett, if you actually want to click on the thing, the box arts are in there from Reset Era. Includes the complete The Last of Us single-player story and celebrated prequel chapter Left Behind. Limited edition steelbook display case, The Last of Us American Dreams, number 1 through 4, these are comics, reprint with a new cover, and early in-game unlocks. So if you toss it back up there, yeah, that's the one that I'm reading from right now because they have the most information in it. Of course, there is the other version, Barrett, if you want to go back to the regular old PlayStation 5 version that you showed up there. The base thing is just buy The Last of Us Part 1 and experience the emotional storytelling and unforgettable characters of Joel and Ellie in The Last of Us, winner of over 200 Game of the Year awards, now rebuilt for PlayStation 5. Worth pointing out, this isn't an official announcement, even though it's official.
Yeah.
So there's like a little bit of confusion going around and all this stuff's happening. Apparently people have gotten confirmation that no, it makes it sound like when you read the Firefly edition that Left Behind's only included in that because we don't have a lot of information. Left Behind apparently is included in straight up Last of Us Part 1 normal edition on PlayStation 5.
Cool.
Then another thing has been floated around that I haven't seen, but I've seen Paris Lily, of course. Clown. Play something on your Steam Deck, Paris. Don't worry about what we're doing on PlayStation 5. Saying, of course, $70 for the regular version because it's a PlayStation 5 game. $99.99, $100, for the special edition over there. Tim, where do you want to start with this?
There's so much
to
talk about. I mean, I think the first thing would be the release date. September 2nd is a lot sooner than I think any of us would have ever predicted.
For sure.
Like we're thinking about why is this happening and what does that mean? I think that the HBO show is one thing that they're trying to target, and also potentially looking at this fall as like they don't have big bangers, but what we can get out there to make some money, like get some copies sold. Especially with God of War still kind of being up in the air right now of is it going to hit this year or not?
And we were so confident, and then just one little rumor yesterday from some site that was like,
all it takes.
And Schreier says he still hears this year, but yeah,
that's what my gut says. It's
come on, Jeff,
year.
tell us today. Tell us today,
Jeff. God,
fucking Jeff, do it, Keely.
So September 2nd, I mean, that is like less than 3 months away. Like that is so soon. I'm extremely excited. Like I love Last of Us, so another excuse to play through it. Like I'm looking forward to that. I'm ready for it. That level of excitement that I think I would have had no matter what aside, this is, I think, kind of the least exciting version of what this could be. Like I'm very surprised it's just part 1. I'm surprised part 2 is not.
Oh, you don't want a definitive edition PlayStation 5?
Yeah, like part 1 and 2 I think would make sense on a PS5 like physical release, like with the PS5, the white strip,
especially with like the Uncharted Legacy of Thieves collection where they put together Uncharted 4 and Lost Legacy.
Yeah, totally. Like things like that. It's like I think that just makes a lot of sense. But the other big question, I know I'm saying a lot of things here, but factions, like it not being a part of this, I think is also very interesting. Is that going to eventually happen? Is it never going to happen? Or is that going to be part of an eventual part 2 remake or whatever that they're
I think that you don't put factions in there because that that multiplayer is done and behind them, and so whatever the new thing is you do there, right, and then you put out the ultimate definitive collection, right, because if you can still sell factions 2023 we'll call it, right, on its own, then just put them all in there and do that or whatever. And then you sell that when you got that HBO show, and then you're making Pedro Pascal money.
Exactly. And then the other thing that I think is interesting is the way they're talking about Left Behind, and even in the trailer, seeing it. Like, I was hoping it was going to be interwoven with the main narrative. Like, because that to me, I think is look. If I'm going to play this game for the 4th time, like, make it a different experience as much as possible.
You think that's what you're going to get?
I don't think so.
No,
with the way that it's
this definitely sounds like it's just going to be there.
But like before today, I would have said, I think that's what they're going to do because that makes the most sense.
Sure.
Like if you're going to do a remake of this, like if this is going to be a lot of people's first time with Last of Us, like give them an experience that kind of feels as seamless as possible. Like,
but doesn't that almost get into like, all right, I'm going to watch Star Wars. Should I watch it, episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or should I watch it, in release order?
Yeah, but I think that it's different because this is a remake of a game that's already been remastered. Like there's just like, there needs to be a reason for this to exist,
and like even if you do like the separate version of like you just play like Last of Us and then Left Behind is a different thing. Like at least have like a play the director's cut version and stuff like that that is interwoven, and that's something that
that's fair.
From part 2 as well. Of
I think honestly the target audience though for this are people who haven't played Last of Us, and I know and there's 2 target audience. The one they're putting this out for, I think the most are, hey, people who will eventually watch this HBO show and have been on the fence before. You maybe even played Last of Us Part 2 because you had, you wanted to get in there. Like, here's a souped up awesome version of it, blah, blah, blah. What I find interesting about this, and I'll be very fascinated to see when it gets announced today, if there will be, what the immediate PlayStation blog post is about it.
Yeah.
Because the trailer there, like, I'm with you, of like, I look at it and I'm like, it looks good. Like, clearly the models are better, but I did just play Last of Us Remastered, right?
Me too. Yeah.
So it's like, okay, like, this doesn't seem that different. What I want to see is, how did you incorporate the Last of Us 2 Part 2 gameplay that was so fucking phenomenal into this and like change what it looks like? Because even this, it's like, all right, so are these the exact same encounters? You could assume no. They've, taken the same areas and things like that, but changed them up to make it a little bit more, okay, cool, this is what Last of Us Part 2 was.
Yeah. I mean, God, watching it again, I'm like, all right, I'm getting kind of hyped again. Like,
of course you are. It's one of the best games of all time.
Yeah, totally. I love the franchise so much. So it's like, again, it's been a couple years now since, like, we say we just played through Remastered, but like at this point, that was 2020 , right?
Jesus
So
Christ.
we did that. So it's like, it's about time to play through this, especially it not being that long of an experience, the first game,
For
at
sure.
least. So that's cool. Also, Ellie getting front and center on the box art, many years in the making.
Yeah.
Finally here. And it was before she was on it kind of little, but now she's the big one.
So then we've covered the game itself. How do you feel about the price points? If it is going to be a $70 regular one, $100 for the special edition.
I mean, that's kind of the going back to, like, I feel like this should have included part 2 for that $70 price. Like, that it is kind of a
American
bummer.
Dream's a good read, though. Read more comics, everybody.
Yeah, but American Dream also came with Remastered, didn't it? I'm pretty sure.
In the collector's edition?
At least some version of it. I don't know. I remember reading that game or reading that comic via PlayStation. Somehow.
Oh shit! Really? I don't remember that. I read it in the issues.
It was a long time ago. I don't remember what the exact method was, but regardless, I mean, we both know
remember
that
the
is
PSP comic reader.
Oh yeah, of
Remember
course,
that?
of
Fuck
course. Yeah, that's how I read.
Ahead of its time, PlayStation Portable.
First time I read, first comic I ever downloaded the digital version of was Marvel Zombies, and in like 2005 or whatever, and it was on my PSP that I was reading it. But do not recommend that at all. But yeah, no, $70. Like, yeah, that's ridiculous for what this is. But it's also one of the best games ever made, and that's the thing is, like, what work are they putting into it? What are the gameplay changes? Like, what are those things? And I feel like right now this trailer doesn't show that, so it kind of just looks like
problem. Well,
Remastered is legitimately free to people. You know what I mean by free on PlayStation Plus with the library, the collection, or whatever. So it's like, $70 for this thing that seemingly doesn't even intertwine the stories. It doesn't have part 2. It doesn't have factions and all that. It's like, huh.
See, I'm not prepared to say. Well, I already forgot the exact words you used. Outrageous. I'm going to say, but like that. I want to see how different the environments are and how different the gameplay is. And like how did they expand them? Is it bigger? Is it more of Last 2? Is it going to take me longer because they put more stuff in and more collectibles in? That leads to an interesting question from the one, the only Lucid Dream. A with a 4. Lucid Dream wrote in to patreon.com/kindafunnygames. Just like you, Ken, says, the thing I'm looking forward to most about The Last of Us Remake is an updated trophy list. Sony's first-party studios have been knocking it out of the park with their new trophy list since Horizon Zero Dawn came out, and I'm hoping Naughty Dog revamps the list to be more in line with Last of Us Part 2, which was very well done. Maybe then I can actually platinum the game. Any thoughts, Greg? Thanks. Fuck yeah, they better fucking make it better. Last of Us trophy list sucks. Last of Us Part 2 trophy list, great.
Yeah, I imagine that
they will. They've learned.
Yeah,
no,
Naughty Dog cares.
Oh, I mean, to Lucid Dream's point, like, I think PlayStation in general, again, like, there's so much lip service from executives and shit like that. The PlayStation first party, the worldwide studios do actually talk to each other and do learn from each other. And you see that even to like the social media of them celebrating each other's games when they come out, right? And how that started, and then it became a huge thing. Trophy lists are the same way. They understand that trophy lists are important to PlayStation fans. Naughty Dog understands that. I'm sure Neil Druckmann understands that if he fucks this up, he'll have to answer to me.
Yeah, personally. Exactly. Yeah, no, it's the $70 is it worth it question, I think, is always loaded, and people are going to kind of bring in their own baggage to that no matter what they find the value in. So it's like, on one hand, I'm like, yo, like, this game is worth $70, but on the other hand, it's like, yo, if you don't want to spend that, you can also get the remaster for free, and I imagine that's going to be a very similar experience for the most part. But anyone that's played Last of Us 2 and you're telling me that now Last of Us 1 can play like that, it's like, yeah, that's what I want.
Yeah, for sure. And so then I think the other bullet point to this story is fuck.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Man.
I feel bad for everyone at Naughty Dog. I feel bad for Jeff Keighley. I feel bad for PlayStation as a whole. I feel bad for whoever at PlayStation Direct fucked up the time. It was like, you know what? Oh, it must be, what would that be? Because it went up like, now I'm totally lost. And maybe they thought it was Eastern or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And so they set it for the wrong thing. And so this popped long before. Because think about if this opens Summer Game Fest. Like, fuck. God damn it. And we would have been up and we would have been hyped. And like you were saying earlier, like, the real sad thing is like when people look back at this now, they're not going to remember this is an exciting announcement for Summer Game Fest.
No, and like, look, I was telling you this. Like, I know that a lot of people out there don't care about this, and they're like, why would Tim care about something like this? The reason I care is I care about this industry and I care about these events and these showcases, and I want them to succeed because the more they succeed and they hone in, and Jeff Keighley specifically like figures out what this is, everyone else is going to play ball, and it's just going to make the event better for all of us and more exciting and worth hyping up and all that stuff. And when things like this happen in the future, we're going to look back on it and we're not going to fondly remember Last of Us Remake being at Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest show, right? There'll be a lot of like, not revisionist history, but just people will see it differently in the same way that for years I've been fighting that State of Play isn't always bad. There have been good ones, and I always cite the one where Final Fantasy VII Remake and Resident Evil 3 Remake was first revealed, and everyone's like, and they were like, because it was leaked beforehand.
Yeah.
You know, if it wasn't leaked beforehand, that would have been exciting as hell. So I hate shit like that, and it's only because we're so close. If this had been like 3 weeks ago or something, it'd be like
2 days ago, you have the weekend, you'll be like, oh man, what a shucks. But like you figure you wake up right now, and like even for us doing something so small as the Kind of Funny game showcase, right? Like it was always that thing of like, oh man, I hope nothing fucking happens, right? And so like to get here and be like, people are like, oh yeah, Jeff tweeted out a shrug emoji. It's like, well, of course he did. Yeah, Jeff's a professional. Yeah, I didn't think Jeff would tweet out, I'm canceling everything.
Fuck it, you guys don't deserve anything.
Now the real thing I think is though that when we were talking about this earlier, I was like, man, this sucks. You assume this was their biggest announcement, right? What if there's a bigger announcement? Like, you know what I mean? What if they got something else in there?
That's the thing, man. It's like, we just don't know. Like PlayStation's logos on that thing. Like we do not have enough Summer Game Fest to look at patterns. We just simply don't. And when you look at Jeff's shows between Game Awards, Opening Night Live, and Summer Game Fest that we had last year, like there are some things that you're like, okay, we can assume there's going to be a lot of shovelware type advertising stuff. That's what pays the bills. That's the one thing that I think is a safe bet. The other thing is, I would bet that Jeff has tried his damnedest to get the hypest things possible. Yeah. Did he secure the bag? I don't know. But when it comes to PlayStation, like I think that they know how important this Game Fest is right now. And if this is the biggest thing they have, this is really big. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, it's just a remake of
one of the greatest games of all time.
But it's like, yeah, but that's a big deal. You know, like people are a lot of people are going to be excited about that. It's going to sell super well. I do think that the biggest other thing PlayStation can do is God of War. Yeah. And I think that's entirely dependent on their confidence in it coming out this year. Like,
if you show it today, you have to give a release date.
You have to.
Yeah.
And I feel like you have to stick to that, or else it's going to be like such a like laughing stock type situation you can't get out of. And in the world we live in, who the fuck knows? But I feel like I've been saying this for a while now, Greg, but they must be confident that they are trying to hit this year. That is the plan.
Oh, yeah.
And until they say otherwise, that is what we should expect. But at the same time, at any moment they can say that, hey, it's 2023, sorry guys, and it's going to be like, cool, I'm not surprised at all.
Take all your time, that's what we'll say.
From the peanut gallery over here, right, I think if this was at the State of Play, obviously this would have been the most hyped thing at the State of Play in and of itself if they didn't partner with Summer Game Fest. As the show as a whole for today, I'd be surprised. I honestly would be surprised if this was the most hype thing, because like I know it's a very beloved game, and you know there have been rumors about this remake for a while, and I imagine that it's one of like its biggest beats for the show.
Sure, but I think it would have been such a strong open, and I think that's what happened. Is I think that it was the times got set that this was going to pop at 11, and they popped it early on that for this time.
Exactly. And then the other question of God of War, I'm gonna stick to my guns from our prediction stuff, and the fact that this is gonna be at Summer Game Fest. I don't think we see God of War today. I think PlayStation maybe we're originally planning to end their State of Play with this, and then in conversations, Keighley was like, give me something. They're like, all right, we'll give you our most hype thing, and I think this might be all they have for this time.
I really disagree. Not so much about the God of War being there today or not. Like that super 50-50. I really don't fucking know. But more that I don't think that this was ever in talks to be part of the State of Play. Like I think I think the State of Play was entirely focused on
State of Play.
Okay. Yeah, on third party games and all that stuff. Like and also like look at the lineup that they had. They didn't need this. Like they had enough wins there with Final Fantasy 16 and Street Fighter 6 and like third party games to be excited about that. Like I don't think that they would have put this there. This definitely feels more like a Summer Game Fest type announcement. And I'm with Greg. I think the opening with this is like, that's great. Now, speaking of patterns and stuff, granted, not enough to really find patterns, but just looking at what we do have to go off from last year, that show, Keeley has a problem so far with the Game Awards and with Summer Game Fest where there's a strong start and about 20 minutes in, we're like, oh my God, we have an hour and 40 minutes left. And then 30 minutes later, 30 minutes later, we're like, but he's going to end with a bang though. And then it rarely does.
Last of Us Remaster, God of War release date. Yeah. September 2nd for Last of Us. September 9th for God of War. Just fuck them up, man. Fuck them up, man. Fuck them up, Keeley. Speaking of fucking them up, ladies and gentlemen, you can fuck yourself up over at patreon.com/kindafunnygames. Over on patreon.com/kindafunnygames, you can write in to be part of the show. You can get the show ad-free. You can get the show with the post shows we usually do. Remember, it's going to be different today because we're going straight to Summer Game Fest right after this, live, as we do with all the reactions. Don't forget, Xbox and Bethesda on Sunday, twitch.tv/kindafunnygames, later youtube.com/kindafunnygames. I digress. You could also, of course, on patreon.com/kindafunnygames, get each and every episode of the show ad-free. But you're not there, Jack. So here's a word from our sponsors. Are people still trying to make plans with you this summer as if you aren't booked and busy already? You're just gonna have to tell them to try again in the fall. You've got pool days, pride parades, bachelor parties, and beach vacations waiting for you because when you're living your best life, the last thing you wanna worry about is butt sweat. I'm Greg Miller and my butt never sweats because I wear MeUndies. You've heard it a million times. I like MeUndies so much with my first pair, I bought a whole bunch more and threw away the rest of my underwear. They're the best. MeUndies has the lightest, most breathable fabrics to keep you cool and comfortable wherever you go. From undies to bralettes to socks to loungewear to swimwear, you can find something for all your plans. MeUndies also releases new prints all the time, like their limited edition Pride collection. Find your ultimate summer comfort in sizes extra small to 4XL. MeUndies has a great offer for my listeners. For any first-time purchasers, you get 15% off. For a limited time, if you sign up for their free-to-join MeUndies membership, you get 25% off your first membership item. To get 15% off your first order, 25% off your first membership item, and 100% satisfaction guaranteed, go to MeUndies.com/kindafunny. That's MeUndies.com/kindafunny. No one likes waiting on a paycheck, especially when you've got bills due. Good thing there's Chime. Now you can get your paycheck up to 2 days earlier with direct deposit. That's up to 2 more days to save, pay bills, and generally just feel good about your money situation. But Chime is about more than just getting paid early. It's also an award-winning mobile app, checking account, debit card, and optional savings account. So what are you waiting for? Hopefully not your paycheck. Get started with Chime today. Applying for a free account takes less than 2 minutes. Get started at chime.com/kfgames. That's chime.com/kfgames. Banking services and debit card provided by the Bancorp Bank or Stride Bank N.A. Members FDIC. Early access to direct deposit funds depends on your payer. Now I know what Snowbike Mike's saying back home in Tahoe. I don't care about PlayStation 5. I don't like the controller. Where's the Xbox news? Well, Snowbike Mike, guess what? It's a huge day for Xbox today. And we will now go into 4 stories all about what Xbox has announced today. Number 2 on the Roper Report, Xbox is planning to offer at least 5 new games across the next year. This is Jez Corden at Windows Central. In a statement to press, Microsoft described its intent to, quote, meet or exceed the number of games it launched in its fiscal year 2022, which included Age of Empires 4, I hate Roman numerals, Flight Simulator, Psychonauts 2, Halo Infinite, and Forza Horizon. Quote, last fiscal, we launched 5 games across console, PC, and cloud. We are on track to meet or exceed that amount in the next fiscal year, end quote. One can assume that this includes Starfield, the space RPG from the creators of the Elder Scrolls and modern Fallout games. Starfield was delayed out of 2022, but is expected to launch before next summer as it undergoes extensive polishing. Redfall will most likely be another game we see before next summer too. Redfall is a 4-player cooperative vampire action game from the creators of Dishonored and the reboot of Prey. Beyond these 2 games, it falls a bit towards speculation. Highly likely candidates for other games launching between now and next summer include RPG Avowed from the developers of Pillars of Eternity. We could also see a sim racer Forza Motorsport 8 emerge too. There are other potential candidates such as leaked Project Belfry from Stoic or Obsidian's Pentiment. Did not pronounce that right. Pentiment? Pentagram? I'm not going to play a devil game.
No
Tim,
devil game.
What do you think? 5 games from Xbox, exclusive their studios. What are you thinking?
Greg, Xbox has been building up to this moment where they're going to release a whole bunch of games. We're going to get that eventually.
Everybody go back to the Gamescast for the last 7 years and screen cap him saying that and put it all together.
Yo, real talk though. I mean, at some point it's going to have to happen.
Yeah, they got him in there.
Which is like such a fucking silly thing to say. But like real talk, you know, we saw hints of it, right? We saw it last year, all jokes aside, we got Halo Infinite, we got Forza Horizon, we got Age of Empires 4, Psychonauts 2, and those were pretty much back to back. Grounded was even in there somewhere or other. But like that was a pretty dope lineup, right? And I think it spoke to a wide breadth of gamers out there. That wasn't just one genre of game, right? There was like a whole bunch of different stuff, and especially with the power of Game Pass, it allows people to jump in and play games that maybe the genre is not something they're normally into, but they can give it a shot, and now they love Psychonauts 2, whatever. They're building great stuff here. We know about so many games that even you just read off here with Redfall and Starfield. Like those are
locks.
Those are locks, and well, as locked as anything.
Locked as any Bethesda game is.
Yeah. But like those are on a different level, right? Like I feel like that's multiple Halo Infinites going on. So that's exciting. And then plus what we don't know, Forza Motorsport 8 is the other thing, right?
Also a lock. That's going to happen.
Yeah, because they announced that
so then you're
a while back. Yes, you're down to 2, but by June, what was the date? June 30th?
The fiscal year thing?
Isn't
that what, April 3rd? I thought that's April
I thought
1st,
I read it somewhere. That
summer. They said something about summer.
Yeah. But whatever. Like, yeah, this totally makes sense. I believe it. And I imagine, fingers crossed, this will be, hopefully, the actual start of what I've been talking about for the last decade with you. Sure. Where once this happens, yes, it is 5 for this quarter, but then it'll also be another 5 the next, and then another 5 the next, and then another 5 the next, because Xbox owns half the developers out there.
They bought a lot of people, yeah. It's hard to get into here and not dream too much. So to lower expectations, and I don't mean this as an insult at all, I bet one of the ones they would count is Grounded. I bet Grounded comes out of early access, whatever, and is a full released game, and here you go. And that doesn't change much if you're playing Grounded now, but you know what I mean. I think that would go in there. Because I want to get in there and I want to say, oh man, what is going on with the next State of Decay? We're not close to the next State of Decay. What's going on with the next Hellblade, right? I don't think we're close to that.
You don't think we're close?
I think that game's going to be a bit still.
Like, Greg, at some point, Hellblade 2 has to come out.
I just think they showed it early, and then they gave us that, giant man crawling or whatever. I think they're working on it. I think they're confident in it. I just don't think it's that close.
Mm-hmm.
And so then it's like, whatever. And so then it is like, okay, well, Obsidian's working on like 19 games. What are they up to, right?
Yeah.
Where are they going with it? Yeah, here's the hope.
Well, I feel like, okay, let's talk about Hellblade for a second.
Sure.
When do you think that comes out? Because that, in my heart, that it has to be 2023.
I forget, chat. When was it announced? Was it 2020 at the Game Awards or?
No, it was when we were still in office, so that would have been
2019 at Game Awards,
because that was the first next gen game.
Right. Yeah.
And then wasn't it like I feel like we were talking about this on XCast, which you can check out youtube.com/KindaFunnyGames every Saturday.
Is Paris on that show?
Maybe. I think wasn't it recently that they said they moved to Unreal Engine 5 as well? Wasn't that a thing too recently?
I don't know, but that's good news. Unreal Engine 5 is so freaking dope. Like, I would totally take a year off of games if they would just do it with Unreal Engine 5 instead.
Yeah, they are on Unreal Engine 5.
But, yeah, okay. So, I think 2023 feels right to me.
If we're getting a 2023, I think it would be a back half of the year game.
Yeah.
I don't think it would be in this 5 thing.
Yeah.
And that's where I think it's so important to talk about the expectations and what's really happening. Because again, you know what else I want to throw out there? I fucking want to do the Fable. I want Fable. But I don't think Fable's anywhere close to being the next fiscal year.
Yeah. And then there's Perfect Dark, right? That's the one that I'm most interested in.
Yeah, that ain't coming in this fiscal year.
I don't know. Yeah, it's not coming this fiscal year, but just in terms of like games that I'm looking forward to getting a little more info on. I'm hoping that's 2023, although that does feel more 2024.
That's the whole thing. That's the other subtext to all of this as we talk about this and go. I'm hoping to get more info on Perfect Dark as well. I'm hoping that happens on Sunday. Yeah. Xbox Bethesda Showcase, of course, Sunday morning. We will be live reacting, twitch.tv/KindaFunnyGames, Gamescast post show after, available youtube.com/KindaFunnyGames, podcast services around the globe. I'm fascinated to see what we get to find out there and what we're going to actually know coming out of that.
Yeah, man. What a time. I'm getting excited, Greg.
What a time.
I feel like it hasn't hit me yet that this is E3. Yeah. This is happening.
Tamor put up yesterday the GameSpot Keeley shirts, and I was like, oh, yeah, you guys are treating this like E3, because it is, and we are too, but it's like, Also, it's just you, me, and Bless going down to fuck off in LA. You know, it's like whatever.
Yeah, it's so funny. I mean, it's like in some ways there's like more showcases than ever, but in the way we cover this stuff, there's definitely less showcases than ever in terms of like what actually matters. Like back in the day, it felt like there was a week full of every single thing matters. Here it's kind of like, cool, we have Xbox, we have Summer Game Fest, there was that State of Play, and that's pretty much it. Like we have that Capcom thing coming up. There'll be fun things here and there, but like they don't have the same type of gravitas of like, oh, a Ubisoft conference. We expect X, Y, and Z to show up. Yeah. Here's kind of like, what do you got for us? Now, with the exception of Xbox, Summer Game Fest, and State of Play, where those we do have expectations for. And so far, I would say we're 1 for 1 on wins.
Sure,
State of Play was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
If Microsoft and Summer Game Fest can match those, this is going to be one of my favorite seasons of announcements ever. I don't expect them to. But you know what? I'm going to turn that frown upside down. I expect it all.
There you go. Now you'll be disappointed. Great. Number 3 on the Roper Report. We're still in your Xbox storm cloud of announcements. The Xbox app is coming to Samsung TVs. Playing Xbox games on 2022 Samsung Smart TVs gives Xbox Game Pass Ultimate members easy and instant access to over 100 high-quality games, including Xbox Game Studio titles on the same day of release. And as we just recently announced, you can also play Fortnite without a membership through cloud gaming. Playing Xbox games on 2022 Samsung TVs will be a seamless experience, similar to using other streaming apps on your TV. Simply launch the app, connect to your favorite controller, and start playing. Here's the step-by-step. Access the Xbox app from the Samsung Gaming Hub and log into your existing Microsoft account. If you're an Xbox Game Pass Ultimate member, you'll have access to hundreds of cloud-enabled games, or you can check out Fortnite without a membership. If you are new to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, join or upgrade today for just $1, and you can sign up directly in the app. Connect your favorite Bluetooth-enabled controller, like the Xbox Wireless Controller, the Xbox Adaptive Controller, Elite Series 2 Controller, or the DualSense Controller. Start playing over 100 high-quality games from the cloud, including A Plague Tale: Innocence, Hades, and Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Extraction. I like that they just shouted out, all these different ones.
Yeah.
Tim, it's finally happening. We've been saying it for fucking years.
I feel like
now it's actually in motion.
It was impossible to predict this. No one could have ever seen this coming at all. But here we are. It happened. And yeah, good. This is awesome. This is what Xbox has been building to, so that eventually when the games actually start being released, they're going to be available to millions of more people. Like, people always write off smart TVs, and they have been for a very long time. And 4K TVs, all this stuff, where they're just like, oh, like, that is such a niche thing. It is not. Like, so many people, when you go to a Best Buy now, you're getting a smart TV.
Yeah.
And so many people buy smart TVs, 1, because they're the only TVs available, 2, because someone at Best Buy is telling them, and you can do this and this and this and this. And hey, now one of those talking points is going to be, well, get the Samsung over the LG because it gets you access to Xbox. You can play all these games, and this little subscription fee for Game Pass gets you all this stuff for your family. This stupid kid, that stupid kid, all that stuff.
I'm a stupid kid named Snowbike Mike. The DualSense confuses me. Oh, there's a microphone on it. I'm dumb.
Exactly. But this is fucking awesome, man. Like, I really think that this is one step closer to what I've been talking about.
Xbox domination.
With Xbox domination, but some type of like stick that makes non-Samsung TVs do this as well. But baby steps, figure things out. They've been doing this with, let's get it on console, let's get it on PC, let's get it on mobile, let's build out xCloud, let's keep going. It all strengthens itself and just makes it a better and better value. And more people being invested in the ecosystem is better for everyone. The gamers, the developers, every single part of the ecosystem is enhanced by more people having access to play these games.
100%. And yeah, you figure, again, this is what we've talked about with the power of Xbox Game Pass and why it's such a great deal and why it's so important is that, yeah, a whole bunch of people buy this TV and then, all right, well, I'll try. I'm sure it's going to come with a code, some kind of redemption. Try Xbox Game Pass Ultimate for a week or a month or whatever it's going to be.
They love giving that shit out.
Exactly. And then you get into that and you're like, oh man, this is awesome. I am really enjoying this. I do like this. And then maybe that leads to you buying an Xbox and maybe then buying some games. Speaking of which, number 4 in your Xbox storm of announcements, Xbox Cloud Gaming will support your game library later this year. This is Tom Warren at The Verge. Microsoft is planning to bring a lot more games to Xbox Cloud Gaming later this year, allowing Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscribers to stream some of their own game library. Quote, "We're excited to share that later this year, it's our intent to roll out the ability for Xbox Game Pass Ultimate members to play from the cloud, select games they already own or have purchased outside the Xbox Game Pass library," says Will Tuttle, friend of the show, Xbox Wire editor-in-chief. This expansion will make Xbox Cloud Gaming a lot more valuable, opening up the service to potentially thousands of more games. Microsoft only says select games, so it's not clear if every single Xbox game will be available, and the company isn't saying anything more about its plans. But it looks like the intent is to cover most of your games you already own in your library. For background, Microsoft had originally promised to expand its Xbox Cloud Gaming streaming to a full library of games back in 2020, but it never happened. Quote, no, in 2020, we will enable gamers to stream from the cloud Xbox games that they already own or will purchase, Xbox said at the time. We're finally there.
Absolutely awesome, man. This is, like I was just saying, everything just kind of helps build itself. They've been building this foundation, and then things like this are going to continue to just make it more and more optimized to eventually just work the way that it should. And I think that is the future we should all be asking for from Nintendo, from PlayStation, and from Xbox. And I think all three of them are going to give us some things and not others in a multitude of different ways. But we as gamers want things to just work the way that we want them to, the way that we think they should.
Sure.
And I think that Xbox has done by far the best job of that this generation. And it's things like this that continue to show that they are pushing that. And they're only able to push because they had the foundation that they built with xCloud and what that means. And with Game Pass. And now it's like, cool, we got that side kind of locked down. Let's get it to the more niche needs of people. But we're still talking about some pretty sizable niches.
For sure. Ladies and gentlemen, it is about 19 minutes to go till Summer Game Fest kicks off. I've seen more and more people joining us. Thank you as always. Remember, yes, we are kind of funny and we are live reacting to the Summer Game Fest thing. We will at 10:50, so 9 minutes, start inviting in the other jabronis. Snowbike Michael, stop climbing a mountain. Come in here, you know what I mean?
Such a little climber.
Number 5 on the Roper Report. Yes, it's still Xbox related. Xbox Project Moorcroft will bring early game demos to Xbox Game Pass. This is once again Tom Warren at The Verge. Microsoft is working on Project Moorcroft, a program designed to bring early game demos to Xbox Game Pass subscribers. The demos will be similar to the limited levels and early samples of games that fans would typically spend hours waiting in line for at E3 or PAX. These early game demos have largely been lost in transition to virtual game conferences during the pandemic, and they're key for indie developers trying to generate awareness for their titles. Sarah Bond, Microsoft's head of the gaming ecosystem, describes Project Moorcroft as a way to bring back the E3-like experience. Quote, "Why don't we take Game Pass and make it like a show floor," says Bond. "Why don't we make it possible for a developer to take a piece, a level of their game, release it into Game Pass, generate excitement for what's coming, and also get that really valuable feedback as they're tuning and preparing the game for launch," end quote. Another fuck yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a fuck yeah. It's interesting to me of like what this actually is, like how this differs from the past. Like, why couldn't they have done this before? And didn't they do this before? But it just didn't ever really turn into a thing when it comes to releasing demos.
You mean demos on Game Pass or just demos
Not Game
on
Pass,
Xbox?
but just demos on Xbox.
Well, sure. Remember, Xbox, 360, everything on Xbox Live had a demo or whatever, and that was something people really adored, they said. But then it was actually, and granted, it was dated information long before where we are now with the digital revolution that they weren't really used or whatever.
Yeah.
But I do think we're in a different place. And I think this is different in the way that this makes it sound to me like it's not like, all right, cool, go through the rigmarole of cert and submission and getting your game in there and then give us a polished demo, give us a thing. This sounds more like, hey, we're, the Ooblets team, or hey, we're whatever independent team that's out there, and we want to put out something that we're going to PAX, but we also want to share this, you know what I mean? Get it out there and have it out there for people.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I hope that turns into what it is. Like, I struggle to see this reality of this actually happening anytime soon. And even if it does, I don't think it's going to be used that much, both by developers or by gamers. But maybe I'm wrong.
We will wait and see, ladies and gentlemen. We will wait and see. Number 6 on the Roper Report. Who are you going to call? Greg Miller, because I got 2 Ghostbuster Day updates for you.
Okay.
Did you know that yesterday was Ghostbusters Day?
I did, Greg.
I don't know if you know, Kind of Funny did a shit job of promoting Ghostbusters Day yesterday. I was doing everything I fucking could out there, but then I had the fucking audacity of fucking Joey Noel to come on the goddamn Jurassic Park yesterday, and I'm talking about and I said, is Ghostbusters Day a real thing? Yeah, Joey, it was fucking yesterday. It was the day of.
Just no one talks about it,
I talked about it, Barrett.
There
was news all fucking
late.
day coming out. There was news left and right about Ghostbusters yesterday.
You know what else yesterday was? National Best Friend Day. I saw that popping off. I don't think it was ours.
So you saw that more than you saw Ghostbusters Day.
No, I definitely did.
This is what's fucking wrong with all of you. All right, you all use the internet for stupid fucking shit and not celebrating the goddamn Ghostbusters Day. You sick of me, people.
Respect,
but here we go. Two announcements. Let me tell you, there were a lot of announcements last night. All right. A lot of announcements about Ghostbuster stuff last night. You see the stuff?
I unfortunately didn't. Please update me.
So they've already said they're working on another movie, right? But they've confirmed that they're picking up in the Firehouse. It's codenamed Firehouse, the movie they're writing now, right? They announced a Netflix animated series. They announced that they're working on an animated movie too, as well, about Ghostbusters 2. Or not Ghostbusters 2, but Ghostbusters as well. Universe. Now, here's what I need you to know, all right? We have a lot of friends in Hollywood. A lot of Hollywood friends out there.
Big
shots.
What I mean?
And so I see the Netflix animated series get announced, right?
Yes.
I see them announce this animated feature. And I say, who do I know?
Who are you going to call?
Who am I going to call? And for me, text, because I don't want to call anybody.
Yeah.
Who do I know in Hollywood?
That's the modern Ghostbusters. You're going to text.
I can't. Oh, there was a good joke about that. I should have sent it to you or whatever. It was like, who are you going to call? Do I have to call? I don't want to do this. Anyways, long story short, I said, you know who might be involved with this project one day? You know who's got this stuff? You know who's in demand as an actor and voice actor and Ghostbusters fan? Rahul Kohli. Rahul Kohli.
Yeah.
So I texted Rahul this last night at 10:11 p.m.
Yes.
You and I both know that I've never asked you for anything, and I made your career. If you get to audition for one of these animated Ghostbuster projects, you put in a word for your old pal Greggy. Just a cabbie or a dumb ghost in the background. XOXO Greg. 3 carriage returns there. Greg Miller. Carriage return from San Francisco. And he has not responded to me. So if Rahul gets cast in one of these things, and where am I pulling this information from, ladies and gentlemen? Absolutely nowhere, right? He's a great Scarecrow in Harley Quinn. He's very popular on the Netflix. I feel like he would hear. I don't have an agent. I've tried over and over again. Nick keeps taking my money, and then he keeps saying the agents are rejecting me. If I knew something like that, I feel like he's the kind of person. I thought about hitting up Rob Paulson. I don't think they go that route for either of these. They're going to go for the Hollywoods. Honestly, if I knew that...
Hollywood's bad boy.
Hollywood's bad boy. Yeah, Rahul Kohli is right there. Anyways, though, let's talk about the video game stuff. All right, ladies and gentlemen. You have 2 of them. They're both from Ghostbusters on Twitter, who you should follow. You've all been asking. We're here to answer the call. The Ghostbusters VR is not only coming to MetaQuest 2, it will also be coming to PlayStation VR 2. Hashtag PlayStation VR 2. So as you know, in many of the prediction casts, I've been saying that, yes, this End Dreams Ghostbusters VR game that got announced would have to come to PlayStation VR 2. It'd be silly not to. And it has been confirmed now that, yes, this San Francisco-based Ghostbusting game is, in fact, coming to PlayStation VR 2 in the future. That's all they had for it. Then, if that wasn't enough for you, they announced a brand new Ghostbusters VR game, but it's one of those you got to go to. Announcing Ghostbusters VR Academy from Hologate, arriving later this year. Quote, the ultimate location-based, fully immersive Ghostbusters training simulator, end quote. Join the Ghostbusters team in more than 400 locations around the world. Ghostbusters VR Academy will put players behind the wheel of a new prototype Ecto, quote, an airborne version outfitted with the latest in ghostbusting technology, a hood-mounted proton blaster, stabilizing ailerons, and nitrous boosters for liftoff, end quote.
Cool.
Hashtag Ghostbusters Day.
I've never done one of these like VR that made event space things where it's like there's actual physical things that you can touch and stuff. Yeah. Andy did it, I think, for the Star Wars one.
People love those.
That one's cool. That one's really cool.
And I often get asked by people, oh man, have you ever done the Ghostbusters one? Not this one, but there was another one that was, and I never got out to do it because I think there might be one in San Jose, but we were never super close to one, which is a bummer. But
yeah, but that's cool.
Yeah,
I'm happy for you.
I'm not really. I mean, an airborne flying Ecto game doesn't immediately make me go, yeah, I need some of that. But you know what? Remember we went to Peter Piper Pizza and I played that one Ghostbusters game and I was really good at it. I won a bunch of tickets. That was a good game. So there you go.
Anything's possible.
Anything is possible. Maybe they'll announce more Ghostbusters news at Summer Game Fest today. Jeff keeps putting the Spirits Unleashed in there. I'm in that game. Hey, that sounds kind of cool, right? I'm in the video game. Why not put me in one of the Netflix shows? No big deal. You know what I mean? But I digress. Summer Game Fest is still so far away. Tim, if I wanted something more immediate, say what came to the Mom and Grop shops, where would I go?
The official list of upcoming software across each and every platform as listed by the Kinda Funny Games Daily Show hosts each and every weekday.
Yeah. Out today, and it is happening. People are starting to filter in here that are going to be on the reacts with us. Snowbike Mike's here. Probably got done throwing out his DualSense because he's a coward. Out today, Wario64 reports Xbox Design Lab opens with new designs and colors: soft pink, soft orange, soft green, and soft purple, as well as new camo top cases with matching side caps, mineral camo, arctic camo, forest camo, sand glow camo, and blaze camo. So if you're looking to get in there and get some camo or soft green controllers, go for it.
Barrett, is this you live doing this?
Yeah.
Can you go to the bottom left, that blue?
I like that. That's a good one.
It's pretty nice. Pretty nice. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Among Us is crossing over with Fortnite. They tweet, "It's here. Squad up with your crewmates or imposters and prepare for departure on the battle bus. We're invading Fortnite. Buy Among Us or Stars in the Epic Game Launcher now to get the chance to get the crewmate back bling and distraction dance emote in Fortnite. Remember, if you're buying that stuff, use the creator code KindaFunny.
Absolutely. This next one I'm really excited about, Greg.
Cool Animals is coming to Switch.
What the hell's Cool Animals?
Some lame ass game. Don't worry.
I want to know all about it.
Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba is coming to Switch. Even if Tempest is coming to Switch, I'm trying. Meteor World Actor Badge and Dagger is coming to PC. Nevergrind Online is coming to PC. One Last Memory Reimagined is on Switch. Postal Brain Damaged is on PC. Pro Cycling Manager 2022 is on PC. Soko Cat Combo is on PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. Square Keeper is on all the PlayStations, all the Xboxes, Switch, and PC. Tour de France is on 2022. Sorry, it's PC. Builder Simulator is on PC. Today marks the launch of Battlefield 2042's first season of post-launch content 0 Hour. The new spotlight on Dubachi and Overflood this week is in GTA Online, and you can go get that. New dates for you. We have a bunch of VR stuff. Of course, Upload VR to the showcase today. You should go watch it. IGN has a great recap on it. But in terms of dates that are interesting for you, right? Moss Book 2 is releasing on MetaQuest, July 21st. Cool. Can't wait because it was not fun on PlayStation VR because PlayStation VR is so old. Nerf VR is releasing on August 25th.
Nerf VR.
And then they are giving it, there's a new Twilight Zone game that's being developed. It's coming to MetaQuest 2 on July 14th with the PlayStation VR version to follow at a later date. Ladies and gentlemen,
we're here.
This is it. It's time to start rolling into Summer Game Fest. So remember, this has been Kinda Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday, we come to you with the nerdy news you need to know about. If you like that, patreon.com/kindafunnygames to support us, twitch.tv/kindafunnygames to watch us record it live, youtube.com/kindafunnygames to watch it later, podcast services around the globe. Remember, if you are listening to this later on demand, we are about to react to Summer Game Fest. You can get the watch along. youtube.com/kindafunnygames, and then the post show afterwards will be a Gamescast available as a video, youtube.com/kindafunnygames, and of course available as audio as a Gamescast podcast around the globe. Of course, patreon.com/kindafunnygames to kick us a few bucks, get cool things like this Portillo Metal Gear shirt that I got from last year or last month. And remember, of course, if you think we're doing a good job and you can see that we're busting our fucking asses this week, it'd be great if you went to Patreon and you said, you know what, here's $1, keep dancing for me, jesters, and we go is this suit you, my king?
Jesus, I hate that voice.
Barrett, you're running the next one, right? So we're not really signing off or anything for Twitch kids.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right then. So for people watching on or listening on Patreon, we love you, YouTube and everything else. We love you, and we'll talk to you later. Oh, don't cut. Did you cut?
No.
Oh my God, I dreamt about this and I almost fucked it up. So until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you. We did it!